So I've been a big fan of Deadside and it has quite a strong following, but as of late there has been a real lack of news and, to be honest, significant updates since the last one that I covered, and that was way back in May. And although update 0.2 dropped in June, and yeah, it had a whole bunch in it, including a map expansion, new weapons and gear, and new missions, but since then we've not really had a whole lot, apart from what came towards the end of last year, and that's what I'm going to cover in this video. There was a roadmap and an announcement that the original Deadside team was partnering with a developer and producer called tinyBuild, and that they would help accelerate the development of Deadside. Shortly after that update, we had a couple of smaller updates, as well as a Halloween update that introduced some tweaks to the sniper rifle ballistics and introduced a new map location. But after that, we probably got the biggest news of 2021, and that really only starts in 2022. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and that is indeed Deadside in 2022. So first up, here is the Deadside roadmap for this year leading into next year, 2023. And to be honest, there is a lot that goes on with this picture and it's pretty promising. So today we're going to go through it briefly because I don't want me taking up all of your time. So starting from the top. Technical foundation and groundwork. Between Q1 and Q2 of 2022, the team are working on getting the base of the project ready for expansion, optimization, death and damage registration improvements, inventory and item storage expansion, support for advanced base building and systems, something that has been requested a lot, vehicles, again, something that has been requested a significant amount, and an increase in encounters on the map, and so much more. Now moving on to the spawn system, something that has needed a lot of work, and actually just as I was finishing up this script, they have released an update regarding this, and that'll be mentioned at the end. But yeah, so working on a design for a new spawn system with custom respawn markers and more control in the way of how players are spawned into the map, and this will actually take several iterations on a PTS before it's released into the live game, as they say that it has a significant impact on gameplay. And now I'm going to go out there and say it, the spawning system on Deadside is one of the things I really don't actually like about this game, and I actually don't like in many open world and especially survival games. And albeit that this isn't much of a survival game, especially when it first came out, it was sort of advertised as that anyway, but I just really don't like the idea of being able to pick and choose my spawn and then being able to spawn on and near my friends to get back into a fight. Like, imagine it's 1v3 and you've just killed one and you have two left. Their buddy could just spawn straight back on them, pick up his gear, and then it would... I think you get the idea of why I don't like this. But anyway, moving on from there, there is a redesign and expansion to the current crafting system that'll include weapon dismantling and so much more will be added to improve this feature throughout the year. New PvE events, can never have enough of these. New missions, map expansions, and more map density. Over the course of 2022, there'll be new non-combat mechanics. Not quite sure what that means, but it'll be interesting to find out. Missions with unique rewards, PvE events, uncharted encounters, and more. Honestly, it has a really nice map. Quite a big map. This is why there's a lot of requests for vehicles. But if they fill this with more activities and more things to do and make it feel more alive, it's only going to improve the game. Now a big one. Weapon systems overhaul. One of the biggest issues in the game is it lacks any real division between weapon classes for close quarter combat, mid-range and long range, as well as improving on the balance across all weapons. As well as that, improvements to the weapon system itself will happen, and that'll include detailed recoil feedback, progressive spread damage drop-off, as well as overhauled ballistics over mid to long range distances. And on top of that, the weapon sound system will be getting a complete rework, and that's something I think we can all get behind. The gunplay is a little bit weird in this game. It doesn't really give you any feedback. So if they're leaning to a more realistic gunplay, then I'm going to definitely jump back in and play this game a lot more. Now moving on to something that has been requested an awful lot, and we spoke about this very briefly at the start of the video, and that is base building and base raiding overhaul. The team has great ideas for electricity, workshops, traps, and a whole lot of other handy devices to complete your base in the grim world of the Aftermath. I think this is something that's been needed for a very long time, and it will breathe a new life into the game. The base building is very hollow at the moment. You pretty much have the materials to build a base and then just some storage items, as well as the base raiding being pretty light with some explosive devices. But apart from that, it's very basic, and a lot of the players have requested a more in-depth and interesting base building / base raiding feature, and it sounds like that's exactly what they know they need to do, and it sounds like it's going to be worked on. So yeah, good news again. Now, last but not least, the much requested vehicles. Now, we saw this, or at least a tease of vehicles, in an update that I talked about in the beginning of the video. But due to the complexity of the feature itself and the colossal impact it'll have on gameplay, this will be implemented in several stages throughout 2022, and the first stage will be propeller, swamp boats, and rivers to support it. And this will be introduced in Q2, with land vehicles to follow in Q3 and Q4. They will share more information as this feature progresses. Now, I was personally just expecting some small 4x4s, something that we've seen previously, and I certainly wasn't expecting new map terrain to include boats. That just sounds great, and it's going to break up the flow of the map a little bit more, because to my knowledge I can't remember many rivers or lakes. So it sounds like they're trying to break up the flow of the map, possibly make it a little bit slower to get from A to B, which is personally a good thing. We shouldn't just be able to run in a straight line all the way across the map. But yeah, let me know what you think of the idea of vehicles and how they'll be implemented. And now, although I said last but not least, there will also be 100 player servers to come, and an increase to the NPCs, and what sounds like a whole lot more. Honestly, some of these updates sound absolutely incredible, and if you're a Deadside fan, or were a Deadside fan like I was at the very launch of this game, then I think it's going to be time to definitely jump in and check out when these updates do start dropping. And talking of updates dropping, during the process of recording and editing this video, there has been an update, update 2.6, and this will be on PTS for a few days before it hits a live server on the 1st of February. And this update has added a new map location, as well as some changes to house interiors, and of course the new spawn system. And it sounds like all players can choose a respawn point from the available ones on the respawn screen map. I'll have a link to the full patch notes and the roadmap in the description, so do make sure to check that out. And let me know if this video has piqued your interest in checking out Deadside again. I will certainly be checking it out, especially this new update. I want to see how the spawn system works, as well as the new areas to the map. But this video has definitely been going on long enough. Let me know if you're still playing Deadside, and if you are you looking forward to these updates? With that being said, if you enjoyed the video, let me know by leaving a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. And hopefully I see you all in the next video. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.